While flying above a dense forest, my sister slipped a faulty parachute into my hands and warned that if I didn't obey her, "Hi, I'm Jackson, a 34-year-old man, and this is my story." The roar of the engine silenced everything except the sound of my boy's breathing against my chest. My sister Ruby's pistol did not shake. She had become so steady over the years, wearing loyalty as a mask and betrayal as a second skin. "Jump with your kid," she said coldly, "or I'll put two in both of your heads." My uncle pulled the hatch open. The wind screamed a violent mixture of air and gravity. "There is no chance you'll survive this," he yelled, but the storm of the propellers tore his words away. She pressed the gun harder against my ribs. I glanced down at the parachute strapped to me. The lines were frayed, the buckles too thin a rig that belonged in a scrapyard. She had planned this, it was all ready. I looked at my son, his eyes wide, his small fingers clutching my jacket. The decision was not mine. It was already made for me. I held him close and stepped into the void. The sky swallowed us whole. A few hours later, as I carried my boy out of the woods bleeding but alive, their plane landed on a private runway. They walked out laughing, convinced the earth had already buried me. Survival is not just a basic instinct. It is memory sharpened into pure resolve. Lying in the dirt with my son's head resting on my lap, I pieced together the betrayal like fragments of broken glass. My sister's eyes when she aimed the gun my uncles practiced. And silent involvement. They wanted me gone, not for money, not for property, but for something older. I remembered whispers I had overheard in the hallways of my childhood. My father's will had been secretly rewritten, a fortune, divided with intentional cruelty. I had received the smallest piece, while my sister received the largest, and my uncle had been given the power to manage it all. But greed grows like rot. It is not satisfied with just a division. It wants to eliminate everything. The parachute was no accident. It was the inheritance rewritten with blood, and I had walked right into their plan. But they underestimated one thing. I was still alive. My first weapon was playing dead. Days went by before I returned to their world. They thought the forest had eaten me. In truth, I was watching and listening. I tracked their phone records, their documents, and their late-night meetings from a distance. I learned the rhythm of their deception. I saw their accounts moving funds and their lawyers preparing documents. They toasted to my absence. My uncle called it cleaning the family tree. My sister smiled, her voice steady as she rehearsed her lies for social gatherings. I did not make a move, not yet. My son once asked me, "Will they pay Dad?" I told him the truth. "Yes, but not with bullets or fire," I said. I understood something deeper. Real punishment is not death, it is exposure. It is stripping them of everything until the mask is all that is left, and then tearing even that away. I gathered everything. Copies of fund transfers, secret recordings, a notarized copy of my father's original will that I found buried in a lawyer's forgotten archive. Piece by piece, I built a weapon they could not see coming. The night I returned, I did not break down any doors or scream. I arrived at my sister's house during one of her fancy parties. Gold, silk, and laughter decorated her false kingdom. My uncle stood near the fireplace with a glass in hand, certain of his power. At first, I went unnoticed. Then a silence spread as people recognized me. Alive. I handed her a thick, heavy folder with documents inside that were like sharpened knives. "What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling for the first time in years. "Nothing," I said. She opened it. Bank statements, voice recordings. My father's true will, proof of their conspiracy and their attempted murder. Her glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the marble floor. My uncle stepped forward, his face drained of color. "This is not possible," he whispered. "But it was," I replied. Every word and every number was undeniable. The room turned against them. Guests whispered and their eyes narrowed. I, calm, cold, and silent, watched the empire of lies burn without lighting a single match. Later in the study, away from the guests' murmur, she confronted me. "You could have killed me," she spat, her voice shaking. I stared at her. "You already tried," I said. Her hands trembled as she searched for explanations and excuses. None of them survived the air between us. I leaned closer, my voice steady. "Death is too simple and too merciful. You will live. Stripped of your inheritance and exposed. Everyone will know what you are, and you will carry that weight every day." She broke then, not with tears, but with silence. My uncle tried to speak, but I cut him off with a single sentence. "Next time you look in the mirror, remember you lost to the brother you buried." I walked out before their collapse became begging. I did not need to hear it. The revenge was complete. Outside, the night was cold. My son was waiting in the car, his eyes searching mine. "Is it over?" he asked. "Yes," I said. But the truth was sharper. It was never over. Betrayal does not fade. It hardens into memory, into something that solidifies your blood. I drove away without looking back at the mansion. Its lights flickered in the mirror and then vanished into the dark. What remained was silence, not peace and not forgiveness, just clarity. They had wanted me erased. Instead, I erased the illusion they lived behind. In that final moment, as the road stretched endlessly before us, I realized something. Brutal but freeing. Family is not defined by blood. It is defined by betrayal, and I would never let them write my ending again. This was another shocking tale from home exposed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next secret might be even darker.